Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Red Elevator. I'm Nina Takesh, and today I am going to be sitting down with you with a cup of coffee to discuss some very interesting topics, questions that you guys have asked me, personal and about design. Follow me. So today I am going to have a different format than I normally have it. I like to shake things up, and I know some of you are probably tired of the usual backdrop, so here we are outside. To be completely frank, it also didn't help that I had people delivering furniture while we're trying to film, but that is life. Life is never the same. Life is not predictable. Life throws you curveballs, and it's how you react to them and how you respond to them that's important. So today, yes, it was a curveball, but we adapted, and here we are. I'm standing outside. I was planning on sitting inside, but it's all good. And that's part of my philosophy, which is one of the reasons I wanted to do this particular video, because all my videos are really centered around design and helping people with their design dilemmas and teaching people. And I always wondered what it would be like if I had the ability to actually be a teacher. That was never a dream of mine. I still think it's the hardest job on the planet, but in a way, what I try and do is empower people to learn about what I'm passionate about. It gives me pleasure to do it. I don't do it for any other reason than to give back, and give back in a way that makes me happy. So it's two-way, it's twofold. It's not just me being Mother Teresa, certainly not that. But design has always been my passion. And one of the questions that came to me was, how did you fall into design? And I believe you are born a designer if you are one. It's in your heart, it's in your soul, and you know that. You know that by the people that you are surrounded by who are designers. They just were born that way. I was born to be who I am today, and it took me this long to get here. I'm not a spring chicken, and I'm okay with that, because I feel I have a lot of life left in me. So I'm looking at my phone and trying to answer these questions sort of naturally and as honestly as I possibly can. One of the questions that came in is, what is your biggest insecurity? I think aging is one of them, to be totally honest. To be on camera at my age is hard compared to all the beautiful, perfect people that are out there. But at the same time, I am grateful that I have this ability to speak, to be able to push myself, to not care, and that is what comes with age. So as much as it would have been easier for me to do this in my 20s, I don't think I would have been as insightful in my 20s as I am today, and I certainly wouldn't have the breadth of knowledge that I do today. So with the good comes the bad, with the bad comes the good, and there is no such thing as a perfect person. And a lot of us live up to a standard we are afraid to, that is just not achievable. It's just not possible to be that perfect person. And that is what social media really pushes us into believing. And I'm here to tell you, there is no such thing. I have lots of insecurities about my weight, about my face, about my hair, all the things, but I try not to focus on it. I try to focus on what gives me pleasure, which is to talk about design. Biggest lessons you've learned, biggest hurdles you've had to overcome in life. I've had a lot of hurdles. Most people might judge me on the surface because all I do is talk about design, and my surroundings are beautiful. I feel very fortunate. I am very, very fortunate to be where I am today, but it didn't come easy. I came from a very nice upbringing, certainly. I'm not going to go into all that today because this video will be too long, but I've been very privileged as a child. I had the best education. I've had wonderful parents. I've had the ability to travel all over the world. I'm multicultural. I was born in Iran, in Tehran, and I moved to Beverly Hills when I was very young and lived a very privileged life. By the time I was 30, my parents were really too old to help me financially. I didn't want them to help me, and they needed to take care of themselves. So I am an educated woman who has been empowered my whole life to do and to work. And I've never not worked. Even though I had a privileged life, even though I married someone who was also privileged, I worked every day. I have an MBA. I've worked in many companies. I started in Argentina after business school because I decided to get married and move to Argentina. I worked at AC Nielsen was my first job, which I loved. I met the greatest people in Argentina. I love them dearly. I worked after AC Nielsen in Argentina. I worked at Kimberly-Clark where I was doing marketing for Huggies. And then I moved to America with my husband, got pregnant, had my son, and then found myself alone. And I can't tell you how difficult that moment was in my life because it shattered every belief that I've ever had and every dream that I ever had for myself at that moment. It wiped everything clean. How did I overcome that? Well, those are very difficult questions that I can answer in a small segment. If you guys want to hear, truly, if you want to hear my story of how I overcame the biggest obstacles of my life and how I was able to put them behind me and move forward and create the life that I have today, I would ask you to perhaps sound off below in the comments to see if it's something that you guys are interested in before I go on this diatribe of how I was able to really transform my life. And a lot of it has to do with your mind, your ability to get things done, and your outlook, positivity, and having goals in life. And those are the things, some of the very few things that helped me get through those obstacles. So the next question is, what is it about design that you find so meaningful? And I believe that design is really a reflection of who you are as a human being. Your surroundings tell people who you are. I believe in creating a space that reflects who you are as a person, how you live, and it needs to be authentic, it needs to be you, and I just can't imagine doing anything but what I'm doing because it absolutely brings me happiness. When I have free time on my hand, which is pretty much never, but if I had 5 minutes extra in my day, what I would probably do is look at furniture, or I would look at a living room, or I would look at a design, and that's what makes me happy. So if you find that thing inside of you that gives you that tingling feeling when you locate that favorite piece of art or a light bulb or a light fixture or a piece of furniture, that's how I feel about design. I guess my point is you need to follow your passion. I don't believe in being told from your parents from a young age that you need to be A or B or C. None of that matters. What you need to do is pursue whatever your passion is. If you're passionate about what you're doing, money will come. I never, ever, ever focus on money. I don't ever focus, even with my clients, on how much am I going to make, or how much is this collaboration going to bring. I don't focus on that because it takes away from the pleasure of what I'm doing. And I remember Oprah once said, do what you love and money will come. And that's exactly what's happened to me. I just do what I love. I do it well. I do it methodically. I do it with precision and discipline. And I have a great, great team. Thank God for them, from my assistants who help me with the scripts, to my videographer who does the editing and the filming, to my CAD drawers, to my other assistants. I mean, I couldn't do it alone. So I am very grateful to them because they always say you're only as good as the people who surround you, and I'm surrounded by a great team, so I am grateful. But if you follow what you love doing, the rest will fall into place because you'll never, ever, ever give up on what you love. And that's what I tell my children. I say, don't ever, 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 ever. And this is what I tell them. Ever, 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 ever give up. And they get so mad at me when I do that. And sometimes I say ever like 20 more times. And that's how I feel. I will never give up on interior design or on my passion or on my dreams. And I've come to the point in my life where I can cherry pick what I do and I can focus on doing what I love because I have paid my dues. And when I say I have paid my dues, I have paid my dues. I worked for $5 an hour in a foreign country as a marketing assistant because wages are different in foreign countries, with plaster falling from the ceiling onto my desk with an MBA. I didn't care. I was happy to be working. I worked in Paris during Fashion Week, helping, and I was doing a stage, which is an internship, literally like cutting fabric samples until all hours of the night while all my friends were in nightclubs. I mean, I have paid my dues, and you need to pay your dues, but eventually, and some people get there faster than others, you will get to where you want to be. Since apparently I went on a diatribe about my spiritual awakening and life lessons, I am now going to answer some questions really quickly. And if you guys want to learn more about how I overcame my obstacles or more about my personal life, let me know below and I will be certain to have, a part 2 of sorts. So here it goes. What is your Starbucks order? My Starbucks order is a single shot oat milk latte, extra hot, that I get every single day from Starbucks. I just have to have it. Favorite clothing stores, favorite designers. Look, there's reality and then there's what you love. If I had all the money in the world, I would be wearing Joanna Ortiz and every high-end designer you can think of. But the reality is that I've got to mix it up. But my favorite ones are, I have to say, I'm really loving Sandro lately. Right now I'm wearing Sandro. I love their cut. I love French design. I also, I do love Zimmerman too. You guys have seen me quite a bit in Zimmerman. And that's, that's a high. Low, I'm loving Zara lately. I'm really loving their winter stuff. I love H&M. I love mixing high and low. That's my thing. You guys know that. I do it in design. I do it with what I wear. I'll wear a $9 t-shirt with some $20 jeans and then I'll splurge on something expensive. And that's how I like to do it. Favorite furniture, sofa, chair, etc. Okay, so my favorite piece of furniture on the planet right now, because it changes, is the Zanuso chair. Maybe my videographer will be kind enough to pop it in here, but you guys know it's the Zanuso, it's the best. It's still not ubiquitous like everything else. The Vladimir Kagan, of course, sofa is one of my favorites and it inspired my collection. If you guys don't know, I did start a furniture collection of my own, and it's basically pieces that I have made for clients that I love, that I have spent years sort of refining and studying and learning about, and it has now turned into a collection of furniture, which is on my website. We'll link that in the description. Favorite color, black. I love black. I never get tired of black. I probably have more black pants and black blazers in my closet than all of my viewers combined, which reminds me, thank you for being so loyal and loving and wonderful, and thank you for your positive comments. I believe that I get more positive comments than anyone online, because rarely do I get a negative comment. It is very rare, and that just tells me what a wonderful group of people that I have as viewers, subscribers, friends. That's what I call you guys. I call you guys my friends, and I appreciate all of you. Sometimes I don't get a chance to respond to some of the IG likes and things of that nature. And I'm here to tell you, I see them, I watch them, I love them. It's just physically impossible for me to respond to all of them, but I appreciate every loving word that comes from you guys. So the last thing, I'm going to answer 2 last ones. What's my favorite color? Did I say it was black? Yes, I did. And what is my favorite musical instrument? Piano. And I guess I'm doing more than 2. And the last one that I wanted to talk about is favorite movie. Favorite movie, okay, that's easy. That's The Graduate. If you don't know The Graduate, I highly recommend that you watch it. It's I know every song on that soundtrack because obviously it's Simon and Garfunkel. I wasn't allowed to watch TV or movies as a child growing up, so I discovered it when I was in college, when everyone said, "What? You haven't seen The Graduate?" And I loved it. It's an oldie but a goodie. So instead of saying goodbye, I'm going to say hello. Hello and thank you to all the beautiful people who are kind enough to be my subscribers, kind enough to be a part of this journey, and I value every one of you, and I'm here to tell you that life is a journey. Things never stay the same. In fact, one thing I can guarantee is that nothing will remain the same. I hope that's something to think about, and I can't wait to see you guys again next week on this channel, The Red Elevator. Have a good one.